did establishing core values play then in kind of making certain that you're hiring not just for skill, but for fit?
Yeah, that was another area of a blind spot for all of us. I think it's interesting, like the first couple years, right? When you're trying to scale and hire, you've got like 3 people and 5 and 10 and 20 and 50. Like it's easy to hire because everybody knows people that are good, right? Like the first 10 employees, it's like easy to hire good people, generally speaking. At least that's what we found. But at some point that doesn't work. When you want to start to say, okay, you want to deploy capital at a faster rate because you got a big market opportunity, you want to win it before someone else does. You can't hire 50 people a month with that approach, right? And so for us, like one of the even for core values, one of the blind spots for me was I thought hiring was the easy part. I thought all my energy was on customers and customer sat and like business rep, like how to drive revenue and ARPU, not on team. And I thought I really did take it for granted. And as we started to scale, we started to see a lot of the cracks in our foundation, right? Where there was misalignment, there was trust issues, there was confusion. And so Chris, one of the things Chris did early on when we joined was he said, look, like we should spend some time just thinking through, right, what our best employees here embody. So actually the core values process wasn't about us writing down a bunch of stuff on a list. We took a bunch of our best team members and said, you guys come up with what you think embodies the values of Toast. And then of course we reviewed what they came up with and we worked with them to refine them. But that was an important exercise for us just to transparently clarify, right? Because you start to get past 100 people, you can't talk one-on-one to everybody. What we stand for, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and like, what drives us, what motivates us. And so that was some of the early drivers for core values. And since then we've been incorporated our mission and our purpose and our values in a much bigger way. And we use them in every meeting, in every company meeting, every all hands, in some way or the other, just to keep people aligned, right? Like often when you have tough decisions, like COVID was a good example. This was a company that was growing, to 100+% every year for the past 6 or 7 years. You get hit by a brick wall, like that's an opportunity. That's when you get tested, right? And your values are front and center in terms of decisions you make, how you make them. But that was an important blind spot. Like I think, at least for me, as you start to think about scale, so much of it is thinking through your communication framework with your team, right? And hiring well, right? Like, I think if one thing that I didn't, it's funny, I going back to just, I'm going beyond values for a second here, but on hiring, I had no idea how to hire well. Yeah. Like, I'd go to interviews and I thought I knew what I was doing, but a lot of us thought we knew what we were doing, but there's actually a part to hiring well, right? And it's part of it's the fit and how you assess for fit, but part of it's also how you assess someone's capability well, and that's really important at different stages of the company. And so those are areas I think we relate to, but they've definitely helped us a lot over the past couple of years.